Welcome back to Classic Radio Drama Theater, your portal to the echoes of radio's golden age. This episode brings you a gripping lineup of 4 classic radio dramas, each a journey into the heart of human drama and frontier justice. We'll witness a quiet man's breaking point, a brutal crime in the city, the consequences of bullying the wrong person, and a terrifying alarm in a seemingly peaceful valley. 4 distinct stories, 4 compelling investigations, all in one episode. First up, we join Sergeant Joe Friday in Dragnet's The Big Revolt. A seemingly ordinary man vanishes without a trace. Is it a simple case of a man needing space, or has something more sinister occurred? What pushes a man to just disappear?
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a missing persons detail. You get a call that a man is missing. He failed to return from his work the day before. There are no leads to his whereabouts. Your job, find him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, June 16th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of Homicide Division, missing persons detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. My name's Friday. I was on my way back to the office, and it was 11:59 p.m. when I got to room 24. Missing persons.
What was his mental condition when you last saw him, Mrs. Borg? Where'd you last see him? Was he driving his car? Mm-hmm. And what time was that? Yes, ma'am, but what was the exact time? I see. And your address? And the phone, please. Now, can you think of anything you forgot to tell me? Right. Right. Oh, you gave me that before. Mm-hmm. Was your husband a drinking man, ma'am? I see. Okay, Miss Borg, we'll make a check. Call you back. Yes, ma'am, we'll do our best, thanks.
Anything?
Man by the name of Borg missing. I'm sure glad my wife doesn't call for help every time I miss a meal. Trouble with most guys is they let a woman keep tabs on them, check on everything they do.
Let me see that 9-7, will you?
Yeah, here you go. It's everything his wife gave me.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get the jails and records. I'll check Georgia Street County Hospital in the morgue. It looked like a routine investigation. Lots of things can keep a man from getting home. A few drinks, sick friend, unexpected business conference, a flat tire on an isolated road, maybe just boredom. But there are other things that can keep a man from getting home. It had to be checked out. Henry Borg, 51, male, white American, address 1571 East Berendo Street, had failed to return home at the usual time on Monday. His wife called one of the men he worked with and found that he hadn't been at work all day that day. He still hadn't come home the next afternoon. She called us. I checked the Gaga file to see if he was one of our regular customers, mental case or alcoholic. He wasn't. Frank and I checked the jails, the hospitals, and the morgue. They had no record of him there. No John Does fitting his description. And Borg had no criminal record. We could assume that he was at least alive. Frank called Mrs. Borg back, told her not to worry, and asked her to call us immediately if she heard from her husband. Wednesday, 3:10 p.m., still no word of Henry Borg. The day watch had made another check of the jails, the hospitals, and the morgue. Mrs. Borg called 3 times. The day watch officer's notes described her as very upset. I called her back and asked her to come in the next day to file a missing persons report. I asked her also to bring in the best picture she had of her husband. Thursday, 2:40 p.m. Mrs. Borg was waiting with Frank when I got to work. She'd already filled out the Form 316. She was holding an aging Pekingese dog in her arms.
Joe, this is Mrs. Borg.
How are you, ma'am?
My partner, Joe Friday, ma'am.
Hello, Officer Friday. I talked to Mr. Smith and filled out the paper. Here's that picture you wanted.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, ma'am.
It's a good likeness.
Mm-hmm. Now, Miss Borg, I see here that you haven't put anything down under personal habits for your husband.
Well, I don't understand.
Well, does your husband drink at all, ma'am?
Henry? No. He takes a glass of beer with his supper when he comes home, but he's not what a person would call a drinking person.
Gamble?
Gamble?
Yes, ma'am. Cards, dice, horses?
Oh, I should say not. He never does nothing like that.
You've never known him to gamble at all, then?
Henry? I should say not.
Now, Miss Borg, you say here that your husband has no relatives.
Oh, only a brother Ed, older brother, but I didn't put him down. We don't know where he lives. Haven't heard a word about him 9-10 years.
Mm-hmm. What about your family? Your husband friendly with your family?
My family hasn't spoke to me since the day I married Henry Borg.
Mrs. Borg, I see you only have one friend listed, a Hal Bishop. That's the man your husband rode to work with, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you know Mr. Bishop's address?
No, I don't.
Did your husband ride to work with Bishop every day? You say he left his car at home Monday. Did he ever drive it to work?
Well, he usually drove our car, but then he'd ride with Mr. Bishop pretty often, too. I didn't think anything about it. It didn't seem like anything.
Well, did your husband spend much time with this Bishop?
No, just work. Henry used to like to spend his free time with me.
All right, now, ma'am, please don't get upset here. Did your husband have any financial problems, debts that were worrying him?
Financial difficulties, like bills and things? Oh, no, Henry always took care of it.
Do you think there might have been anything you didn't know about that was worrying him?
Officer, if Henry was worried about anything, I'd have known it. He'd have told me for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about your home? Do you own it?
What do you mean?
Was there a mortgage on it, I mean?
Yes.
Do you have the pink slip on your car?
No.
Well, is it possible that your husband was behind in the payments?
No, he would have told me.
Well, did he owe money down where he worked?
No, not that I know of.
His job, maybe. Was he worried about that?
Mr. Snyder, that's his boss. Well, he always said Henry would have a job as long as he was in the contracting business. Henry makes good wages.
Mm-hmm. Now, you say here his mental condition was good. Has that ever been poor? You ever know your husband to black out?
How do you mean, black out?
Well, has he ever suffered from lapse of memory? Is there any history of epilepsy in his family?
History of epilepsy? Oh, no, not Henry. Why, he's a healthy man. He hasn't had a sick day.
Now, Miss Borg, have you and your husband been getting along lately?
What do you mean by a thing like that, officer? You think Henry and I had a fight, and that's why he left. Is that what you think?
No, ma'am. We don't think anything here, but these are the things we have to check out.
Well, it's a waste of time. Don't you think I'd have already told you that? If Henry and I'd had a fight, I'd have told you first off. It's the first thing I'd have said.
Yes, ma'am.
Something's happened to my husband, officer. I just know it. Something's happened to him.
Did you and your husband go out together much, ma'am?
Well, one night last month we went to the Coconut Grove, there in the Ambassador Hotel. And we used to go to the movies pretty regular.
Was he in the habit of leaving the house at night alone?
No. Just when he went out with Francine.
Francine?
Yes, our Pekingese here.
3:55 p.m., Thursday, June 18th. It began to look as if Henry Borg was in trouble. From what we'd been told, he wasn't a man who had just suddenly decided to leave home. We had to find out if the facts we'd been given were accurate. Thursday, 4:10 p.m. We contacted Borg's friend, Hal Bishop, just as he was leaving the construction job where they both worked. He said he hadn't gone by Borg's house to pick him up Monday because Borg hadn't asked him to. The way they worked it, Borg always told him the day before if he wanted to ride. At first, Bishop said he hadn't noticed anything strange about Borg recently. Then he decided Borg had been a little irritable the last few days. He said it wasn't like him to be irritable, that he'd never known Borg to miss work before, and that he'd never heard of any trouble between Borg and his wife. He said that Borg didn't talk much about his wife. We called on the neighbors of the Borgs. They said nothing to indicate any flaws in Mrs. Borg's story. Henry and Martha Borg were average people in an average neighborhood. He went to work every morning at 7 a.m., came home at 5:15. His neighbors didn't know much about him. He was a quiet man. They lived in the same house for 13 years. Martha Borg was 47, maybe 48. They never had visitors. After 13 years in the same neighborhood, she apparently had no close friends. Two of her neighbors had noticed that in the past year, Martha Borg would leave her house 3 or 4 times a week at 11 a.m. Always at 11 a.m. She invariably got back before her husband did. The neighbors said she usually brought some shopping home with her. They did go out frequently in the evenings. However, there were no reports of family trouble between Martha and Henry Borg. Thursday, 6:20 p.m. We talked to Adolph Wernicke, whose grocery store was on the corner a half a block from the Borg home. They'd been trading with him ever since they moved to the neighborhood.
I don't know what to tell you about Mr. Borg, officer. He always seemed like a nice fellow to me. Didn't say much, but nice. Sure is funny, him disappearing like that.
You got any idea if he had any trouble with his wife?
No, that wife, she's a funny one. Different from Mr. Borg as day and night.
Well, how's that, sir?
I don't know. High hat, sort of. She's all right, I guess. Kind of show-off, though. Kind of person who dresses up when she goes shopping around the corner. Likes to buy fancy groceries, stuff I never get calls for. Like those anchovies up there on the shelf. Now, I'll bet you I won't sell 2 cans of them in a year, but Mrs. Borg comes in and she'll buy them. Now, Mr. Borg, he don't like that kind of stuff at all. Told me so himself.
Yes, sir, but how'd they get along? Do you ever say anything about his wife?
To tell you the truth, officer, I don't know. As far as a man and his wife arguing, I don't pry. Hurts business. Come to think of it, he did say one thing. That was a long time ago, about 2-3 months ago, maybe more.
What was that? What'd he say?
Well, he came in here, just about like this time it was. Didn't buy anything, just kind of hung around. Remember, he seemed out of sorts. I asked him if he was feeling all right. He said he was. Just felt like he had to get away from the house. Now, that'll happen to a man. Just feel like you got to get away for a while. You know what I mean, officer.
No, sir, I'm not married. Thursday, 7:50 p.m. Borg's description and the circumstances of his disappearance have been broadcast to all units. Still no word. 4:10 p.m., Friday, June 19th. We checked Borg's union. He hadn't reported for a new job. We filed an all-points bulletin. 8:05 p.m., I checked back into the office. Mrs. Borg was waiting.
Sergeant Friday, I'd like to know just what's going on around here. My husband has been missing almost a week, and I don't see why something hasn't been done about it. If you can't find my husband, then why don't they put more men on this case? This is a terrible thing. I'm a woman alone, and the police haven't done a single thing. My husband may be dead. He may be dead, and nobody's doing anything about it.
In my work, you hear it every day, but you can't get mad. It's against regulations, and you can't blame them either. They're in trouble, so you let them talk. You try to explain. They don't listen, but you try.
Well, we're doing all we can, ma'am.
They're always talking these days about giving policemen more money. It seems to me there are certain policemen who aren't even earning the money they get right now.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you doing for my husband?
Miss Borg, here's the file on it. Now, we've made regular checks on the hospitals, the jails, and the morgues. Thursday night, when you came in to file that Form 316, we had a complete description of your husband broadcast to all radio units in the city. It was teletyped to every police division. Today, we sent out an all-points bulletin over the state wire. Every police department, sheriff's office, and highway patrol unit in the state knows that your husband is missing. Here, you can see the bulletin right here, ma'am. Now, in these cases, ma'am, we start with nothing. We don't know where they've gone or why they've gone. Most of them turn up by themselves. Some of them don't. We do everything we can to find the ones that don't. Miss Borg, there are 4,000 police officers in this city looking for your husband. 8:57 p.m. When we thought Mrs. Borg was feeling better, we sent her home. We reminded her again to notify us immediately if she heard from her husband. 9:10 p.m. The desk at Central called and told us that they'd picked up a John Doe. From what they said, he apparently was suffering from amnesia. While I went down to Homicide to check out some reports, Frank went over to Central to see the man they picked up. 9:16 p.m. Frank came back to the office.
Joe?
Yeah?
Just checked out that John Doe at Central.
Anything on him?
Yeah, it's Henry Borg.
9:18 p.m. Officers Gorman and Mayer brought in Henry Borg, alias John Doe. They found him wandering around in the 900 block down on South Spring Street, the financial district. Wasn't much reason for anybody to be loitering around there at that time of night. All the businesses in the area were closed. The officers investigated. When they questioned the suspect, he would not or could not reply. They took him to Central Division, where the watch commander, Lieutenant Hale, had him shaken down. His wallet was missing. No papers, no identification. In his pockets, the officers found 8 cents, a key ring, and several keys. No cigarettes, no matches. He was dressed in a good quality worsted suit, very rumpled. No tie, no hat. Gorman and Mayer had rolled his prints at the city hall and sent them to Leighton Prints for classification. During this time, no one let him know that we had any idea who he was. The 2 officers that had picked him up stood by. Frank and I walked over to where he was sitting.
Do you know who you are?
Feel sick? Been drinking, maybe? Would you have a rough night? Look, if you can talk, mister, I think you better make things a lot simpler here. We're trying to help you. How about telling us who you are?
Maybe there's something wrong with you, mister, but we don't think so. We want to know who you are. We want you to tell us. If you don't, the only thing we can do is let them book you at city jail as a John Doe. That's the law. Now, look, if you're trying to hide something, if you're wanted, we're going to know it in a few minutes anyhow. If you want to wait, we'll wait it out with you. You want us to think you're an amnesia case, is that it? Well, maybe you got a good reason, but it won't work. I've been in this department a long time. I've seen a lot of phony amnesia cases. I've only seen one real one, and he didn't act like you. You want to know what I think? I think you're pulling a phony.
Come on, how about it, mister? I get it. Missing persons Friday. All right. Yeah. You bet. Thanks very much. Right. Okay. That was latent prints, mister. They got your fingerprints classified. Now, we know you're not wanted for anything.
Look, we know you're not a bum. Your clothes are good, and you look like a guy who takes good care of himself.
A man like you doesn't walk around without a wallet.
What happened to you?
You got a problem? Tell us about it. Maybe we can help you. Now, why don't you tell us who you are?
You probably got a wife. She must be mighty worried about you right now.
All right. Book him.
I lost my wallet.
How?
I don't know how.
Where?
I don't know where I've been.
Now, you listen to me, mister. We want to know who you are. We want to know where you've been, and we want to know right now.
I don't know who I am.
Let me see your hands.
What?
Your hands. Come on, hold them up. Let me see them. That's it. Now, I'm going to tell you something about yourself, mister. You work for a living, don't you? Hard work, with your hands.
Like a mason, maybe, huh?
Yeah, maybe you're a mason or a hod carrier. You could be a painter, some kind of construction work, I'd say. Something like a plasterer, for instance, huh?
You couldn't be a plasterer by any chance, could you, mister?
I don't know.
Okay. You ready to talk to us now, Henry?
I wasn't trying to fool you. I was only trying to fool myself.
Now, we've been looking for you since Tuesday, Borg.
Your wife's pretty worried.
I'm not going back. No matter what you do, I'm not going back.
We're not going to make you go back. That's up to you, Borg.
All they pay us for, mister, is to find you, to make sure you're okay. None of our business if you go back.
I'm not going back.
All right, now, look, you're pretty upset, Borg. Why don't you tell us about it?
It's crazy. It's crazy what I did. It doesn't make any sense. You fellas, you wouldn't be interested. Maybe I'll just go. If it's all right with you, I'll just go.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay if you want to. Look, we're going to be around here another hour. We haven't got much to do. Our work's all cleaned up. We're just about ready to go home. Why don't you stick around and talk to us, huh? We'd kind of like to hear what happened.
Yeah, just might help you clear things up in your mind if you talked about it.
Oh, it's crazy. I know it's crazy, but I guess I do want to tell somebody about it.
How about a cigarette? Will that help?
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you a match.
I am a man 50 years old. I work hard. I learned my trade as a boy of 16. I've been at it ever since. My wife and me, we got a new car. We got our own home, almost paid for. A man my age, when he gets home nights, he wants to take it easy. Read the paper, watch the television. Bought a $400 TV, 21-inch screen.
Yeah.
You want to know what happens when I get home? She wants to go out. It don't make any difference how tired I am. It don't make any difference if I've been working hard all day. She wants to go out. Do you know what that's like?
Well, it doesn't sound like the reason a man would leave home, Borg.
I don't mind it once in a while, if it was just once in a while, but she's after me every minute I'm home. Here for the last few years, it's been every night. I don't know what's come over her. She didn't used to be like that. Martha used to be a sensible woman. Now she acts silly like a young girl. She's different. Goes in for fancy clothes, all kinds of fancy food, even anchovies, and I don't like anchovies. Last month, I swear, she even made me take her down to the Ambassador Hotel. Imagine me at the Ambassador Hotel. All I ever hear from her is we've just got a few years left to have our fling. I don't want any fling. I'm a plasterer. That's hard work. I get home, I want to rest. It isn't like I cared if she goes out. She goes to the movies almost every day. Goes before noon, she tells me, before the prices go up. I don't care about the money. I want her to have a good time, the clothes, the things like that. I don't care. I love my wife. I guess you think I'm crazy after what I did, but I love my wife.
I see, sir.
And that dog, that Francine, What kind of a name is that for a dog? You ought to hear it talk to it like it was a person.
How long you had the dog, Borg?
I don't know. 2, 3 years.
Well, the reason I ask, it seems funny that you just decided to leave home last Monday. Dog's been around 2 or 3 years. The ambassador thing was last month, you said.
Well, what did it? It was the lessons.
Lessons?
The dancing lessons.
What?
But there's this social club up around Pico and Figueroa. People go there to dance. People our age, she says. Only I can't dance. That's when she gets this idea I gotta take dancing lessons. Did you ever hear of anything like that? A man my age has got to take dancing lessons?
That's when you left.
That was Sunday afternoon, when she got this idea. She kept picking at me all afternoon. It really got me. I thought about it all night. I couldn't sleep. Monday morning, I just didn't go to work. I got drunk instead. Got sick, too. Just couldn't think of anything else to do. I guess you know the rest. I lost my tie, my wallet, lost my hat, too. And they picked me up. I was just kind of wandering around when they picked me up. Seems like a shame when a man can't even go home.
Mm-hmm. You sure you don't want to go home now, Borg? Maybe if you talk things over with your wife.
No, it wouldn't do any good. Nothing I could say to her would do any good. I can't go home.
Well, it sure has been interesting hearing you talk, Mr. Borg. It's almost like hearing somebody tell about me, remember, Joe?
Yeah.
You had something like this?
Had it. With me, it was canasta, though. I hate cards, a waste of time. Yeah, I sure thought it was the end for me and Fay. Remember, Joe?
But it wasn't?
No, for a while there, it sure looked like I was going to lose my happy home. Guess I would have, too, but I talked turkey to her. You know what I mean, Borg?
No. What do you mean?
Talk turkey to him. Make him understand. You let a woman push you around, Borg, you're dead.
Well, with Martha...
Look, they're all the same. I sat her right down on the sofa, and I said, now, look, Fay. And I told her what the score was. She took it, too. It's the only way to do. You try what I say, Borg. You'll see I'm right.
I can just see Martha if I ever tried to put my foot down.
That's what I thought. I was all set to give it up. Move in with Joe here, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Then I figured I might as well at least get a load off my chest. Once I got started, I lost my temper. You know, it's a funny thing. Fay's always thought more of me since then. You ask her. She'll tell you so herself. Says she respects a man who'll stand up for his own rights. Right, Joe?
Yeah.
I don't know. With me, I don't think it would work.
Sure it can. Now, Borg, you listen to me. You tell her you're a working man. Tell her when you get through work, you want to take it easy, and nobody's going to run you. Set her straight, Borg. Get tough if you have to. She won't give you any trouble after that.
I just don't know. Martha...
Won't do any harm to try it.
I'd like to see Martha's face just once if I even told her to shut up. I wouldn't want her to have anything handy to throw.
Borg, look, it's 12:10. We got to be getting home now. You take my advice. You go home, too. Have a talk with her. See if you can't work it out.
No, Sergeant. Thanks a lot, but I can't go home.
Well, like I told you, it's none of our business, but I think you ought to try it.
Well...
Here. Well, look, you're going to need car fare. Here's $1. You take this and go on home. That'll get you there.
Well, okay. You'll get this back, Sergeant. I'll pay it back to you. I guess maybe you're right. Can't hurt anything to try it.
That's the stuff.
Thank you a lot. I didn't mean to put you fellas out this way.
Good luck to you, Borg.
You'll see it'll work.
Maybe it'll work. Well... But I don't know. Martha...
I'll get out of cancellation, Joe. That should wrap it up, huh?
Yeah.
What time did you say it was?
It's 12:10.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I better make a phone call first.
This time of night? Why? What's the matter?
I just remembered I told Fay I'd call her.
Friday, July 28th. A month had passed since Henry Borg had left our office to go home. We'd heard nothing further from him or his wife, and we assumed that they had reconciled their problems. 6:10 p.m.
Officers?
Oh, hello there, Borg. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Borg.
I was afraid maybe you fellas wouldn't remember me. It's been a while. I tried to get out and see you before this.
Well, fine. How are things going?
Did it work out like I said?
I brought you something, Sergeant. Some cigarettes for both of you. Like you to have them. I hope it's the right brand.
Well, yes, sir. That's the right brand, all right, but you don't owe us anything.
I want you to have them.
That's all right, sir. You keep them.
All right. Well, anyway, here's that $1. The one you loaned me.
Okay, Borg, thanks very much.
I sure owe you fellas a lot, and I really mean it. My wife and I, we sure appreciate what you fellas did for us. Oh, is that clock right?
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh, gotta rush. Got an appointment. Be late if I don't hurry.
Appointment?
Yeah. Gotta get over to Arthur Murray's.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 31st, a meeting was held in the office of the captain of homicide. Since the subject, Henry George Borg, had committed no crime, he was not held, and the case was officially marked closed. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Frazier. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Vic Perrin, Irene Tedrow. Script by Paul Coates. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
From a mystery of disappearance, we stay with the Dragnet team for a darker, more violent case in the Big Cup. An elderly woman is found brutally murdered, but the motive isn't robbery. What dark secrets and bitter resentments could lead to such a savage act? And what vital clue might a simple coffee cup hold?
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A howling dog causes a man to check his neighbor's house. He finds the brutally beaten body of an elderly woman. She's been killed by person or persons unknown. Your job, investigate.
It was Tuesday, June 10th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. I was on my way back in from the alley, and it was 7:26 p.m. when I got to 9782 Green Oak Drive. Front door.
Did you find anything?
No sign of anybody out back. Did you call the crime lab?
Yeah, I talked to Lee. He's on the way.
That's good.
Call Hollywood Division, too. They're going to send out some more men to help us.
Well, it's an outside chance. We might come up with something.
Yeah. Whoever did it sure must have been wild, Joe. I don't think I ever saw a killing as brutal as this one.
It's pretty rough.
Must have hit her a couple of dozen times. Look at there.
Mm-hmm.
See? Wristwatch is broken. Looks like she might have raised her arm to try and stop some of the blows.
Yeah. Crystal smashed up pretty bad. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
Looks like 3:04, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
That must have been the time.
For what the neighbor says, that'd have to be this afternoon.
Yeah. Did you find anything that looks like the murder weapon?
Nothing out in the open. Thought it'd be better if the crime lab checked the place first.
How about the other rooms? Are they as bad as the one out front?
Yeah, stuff's all scattered around, drawers pulled out, contents thrown all over. Whoever it was sure wanted us to think it was robbery.
Well, let's check the neighbor.
Yeah, he's across the street. Said he wanted to go home and take something to help quiet him down. Must have been quite a shock to the old guy.
Yeah. You want to tell Brian and Phillips where we'll be?
Yeah.
All right. Phillips is out and back. I saw him when I came in.
I'll talk to Brian.
All right. Ask him to let us know when Lee gets here, will you?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on in.
Thank you. Mr. Brody?
Yeah, over here. Want to turn the lights on? I was just sitting here having a drink, trying to calm down a little.
Yes, sir.
Switch is there on the wall, sort of behind the whatnot. You have to kind of feel around.
Yes, sir. I found it here.
Turned out the lights to help my head. Oh, my, I got an awful headache. You don't happen to have a couple of aspirin on you, do you?
No, sir. I'm sorry. I don't.
Oh, well, I guess you don't mind much. I guess this'll do just as good.
Wonder if you'd tell me just what happened here.
Well, I'm glad to. I want to help all I can, sure. I'd like to see you get the guy what did this to Ethel.
Well, why do you think it was a man?
Huh?
Well, you said guy. What makes you think it was a man?
Well, I didn't mean it like, you know, not special, but come right down to it, almost got to be a man. You can't imagine no woman doing a thing like that. At least no woman I ever knew. It's got to be a man. Come on in. Everybody come in. Might as well have a convention, all the people coming in.
It's my partner, Mr. Broody.
Oh, another policeman, huh?
Yes, sir.
All set, Joe. They're going to call us when the crime lab crew gets here.
All right.
How are you, Mr. Broody?
People all over the place. I never saw a crowd come so fast as when the sirens come in. Seemed like they was attached to mushrooms, just sprung up out of the ground. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Fine, yeah.
Wonder if you'd mind leaving that alone until we ask you a few questions.
Oh, you mean before I have another drink?
Yes, sir, if you would.
Well, of course. Glad to oblige. I'll wait, I mean. You don't have to worry about me, though, not old Earl Brody. I'll hold my liquor. He's just bet. Old Earl's a regular tanker. Don't ever show on old Earl.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you just tell us about finding the body.
Well, I was out in the front watering the lawn. Always do it at the same time, you see. The hot sun burns it up. You don't water, you know. You've got to do that.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's what I was doing, watering the lawn.
Yes, sir. Do you want to go on?
You sure you fellas don't want a little snort, huh? Good work.
No, thanks,
Huh?
Mr. Broody.
No, thanks.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden I hear Nero making an awful fuss.
Who's that?
That's a silly name, isn't it?
Who is it?
Little bitty old Peak. She called it Nero. Always seemed to me that if you're going to call a dog Nero, it should be a big dog. Yes, Nero's the dog.
Well, what happened then?
Well, sir, first off, I didn't pay much attention to it. Just kept right on watering the lawn. And old Nero kept it up. Kept right on yelling and howling. Finally, I figured there must be something wrong. Yes, sir, there must be with all that going on. So I turned off the water and wandered over. You know, check up.
Yes, sir. Mr. Broody, about what time was this?
I thought it was funny, Ethel not coming out and making Nero shut up. Oh, it was about 6 o'clock. Yeah, about 6 o'clock.
Did you see anyone around the house when you went over?
Not a soul, no, sir. There's nobody. So I went around back to the patio, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there wasn't anybody there either. Then I knocked at the door. Now, all this time, little old Nero is still raising old Ned. He ain't stopped to breathe hardly.
Yes, sir.
Well, sir, when I knocked on the door, things swung right open. Wasn't locked, you know, so I called Ethel. I called a couple of times. I didn't get no answer. I couldn't see nothing, so door opens on a kind of little service porch. I didn't see a thing.
Yes, sir.
Then I went in. Walked right into the kitchen. There she was, lying on the floor. Stuff scattered all over, and little Nero sitting right beside her, just going crazy.
You called the police right away, didn't you?
Well, I run out of the house, all over to my place, and called the operator. I dialed 0 and told him to send a policeman right away. Yeah, right away I called him.
Had you seen Miss Lawrence at all today?
Yeah, I saw her this noontime. She was out to get the mail, and we said, hello. You know, just as cheerful like that.
Well, what time did you say hello?
Oh, I picked up the mail, went right back into the house, just like she didn't have no idea what was going to happen. Oh, about 1:30, mail comes in.
Mm-hmm. Did you see anyone around her house this afternoon?
Nobody, no. Oh, well, of course, now, I was out in the back most of the afternoon, you see, out there working in the flowers, so I can't right out say that there wasn't anybody over there.
I see. Do you know where we can get in touch with Mr. Lawrence?
He works in the garage down on Pico. I think I got the name of the place around someplace. I used to take my car down to him before him and Mrs. Lawrence got a divorce.
How long have they been divorced?
About 3 years, I guess. Well, I'm not really sure about that.
How they get along, do you know? Any trouble between them?
I guess there's some who'd say that he was right. I made it a practice not to get involved in those things. Religion, politics, and marriage troubles. I don't get meddled up in them. Oh, they fought all the time. Yeah.
Has Mr. Lawrence been at his wife's house lately?
Well, not that I've seen. I guess they, see each other, but I understand what Ethel said. It was at the lawyer's. She used to try to tell me about it, but I just wouldn't listen. I don't believe in it. Religion, politics, marriage stuff, and all those things, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, sir.
Alimony. They was always fighting about alimony, always.
Do you know what the disagreements were about besides alimony?
I'll tell you, mister. You better talk to Mr. Lawrence about that. He's the one to set you right on it. I go telling you, and I'm liable to say something wrong, you see, and that wouldn't be right, now would it? You better talk to him. You talk to him.
All right, sir, if you'll just give us the address, please.
Sure. I'll take a look at my checkbook, see if I can find it. You talk to him. You don't give you all the scoop, then maybe I can help you out a little.
All right, Mr. Brudig, thank you.
Got any more questions you got to ask me right now?
Well, if you don't feel well, sir, we can talk to you later.
Well, it ain't that I don't feel good, just that I'd like another little snort, kind of pick me up a little, body and soul together. Awful thing. Just awful.
Well, there may be some more things we'll want to check with you later tonight.
A little old snort ain't going to do no harm. One thing everybody says is old Earl can hold his liquor. Everybody says that. You can ask them, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly a day goes by somebody don't say that.
Well, if you'll get Mr. Lawrence's address for us, please.
Right away, sir. Wonder how you going to take all this. All them years of battling, screaming at each other. Now they're over. He ain't going to have no more trouble because of her.
No, that's not quite right, sir.
Huh?
He's liable to have a lot more. Earl Brudig looked through his desk and he found a canceled check bearing the address of the garage where the victim's husband was employed. While he was looking for the check stub, Frank and I interrogated him further on the relations between Ethel Lawrence and her husband. He refused to tell us any more than he had, explaining that if the answers we got from the husband weren't adequate, we could come back and see him. 6:48 p.m. We returned to the victim's house and we talked with Lieutenant Lee Jones. He told us that the crew from the crime lab had been unable to find the murder weapon, but that they had been able to lift several good fingerprints from the kitchen. He went on to say that these had been checked with those of the victim and they were not the same. Little other physical evidence was found in the house. However, an impression of a shoe had been found in the soft earth at the side of the house and a plaster cast had been made of it. We asked Lieutenant Jones to take the fingerprints of the neighbor who'd found the body and check them with the impressions left in the victim's house. 9:46 p.m. The coroner arrived and removed the body and attached the paper seal to the front door. Frank and I went back to the office and checked the name of the victim and her husband through the record bureau. We found that Bernard Lawrence had been arrested 4 years previously on a wife-beating charge, but that he'd been released when his wife refused to prosecute. We checked the name Earl Brudig. He had no record. 10:54 p.m. We drove over to the garage where the victim's husband was employed. The place was closed, but there was a card on the door giving an emergency address. Frank and I drove out to the house, a low, rambling ranch-style building. The garage owner, Arnold Norton, met us at the door.
Yeah?
Mr. Norton?
That's right. What can I do for you?
Police officers, we'd like to talk to you.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. I don't know what it's about, but I guess it's okay. What do you want?
Might be better if we talked inside.
You mind if I see your identification?
No, sir. Here's my ID card. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Uh-huh. Yeah, come in.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just a minute, I'll turn off the TV.
We don't like to bother you, Mr. Norton. Shouldn't take us too long.
Doesn't matter, it's just a fight movie. I've seen it before. I get a kick out of seeing him again.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you want to know?
You have an employee named Bernard Lawrence working for you?
Yeah, Barney's been with me for about 7 years. Why?
You have a home address for him?
I suppose so. But can you tell me what this is all about?
Just a routine investigation. We'd like to talk to him.
I'll write out the address for you.
All right.
You ever hear about Lawrence and his wife having any quarrels or disagreements? I'm not quite sure how I should answer that. What do you mean? I don't know why you're asking the question. It's a little rough to ask me to comment on the way Barney gets along with his wife. I don't want to lay anything on him.
You've known him for quite a while, have you?
Yeah, I told you he's been with me for 7 years. Best carburetor man I've got.
You must have heard him discussing his home life at one time or another, haven't you?
I went through the same thing before, I got myself right in the middle before. I don't want it to happen again.
I don't understand.
When they got the divorce, all the time lawyers coming around asking questions, trying to get me to take sides. I'm not going to do it. If Barney's trying to bring the thing up again, he should be the one to tell me, not have you fellas come around and do it. I'm not going to get in the middle again. I've known both of them for a long time. I think a lot of them. Ethel and Barney and me have been pretty close in the years. But I've had it. All the questions about how much Barney makes, what were his working hours, who'd he see, did he run around with any girls? No. I'm not going to answer any more questions.
Well, this isn't a civil matter, Mr. Norton.
This has nothing to do with the divorce?
No, sir.
I'm not going to be called as a witness?
We can't say to that, sir.
Uh-huh. Well, you fellas are going about this routine thing makes me think that it's a lot more important than just a traffic ticket or anything like that.
Well, it is.
Did you see Lawrence today? You mean at the garage?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he can work at 8, just like he always does.
He was there all day?
8 to 5, that's what he works.
Does he have occasion to leave the garage at all during the day?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, does he have to leave to go pick up parts, anything like that?
Yeah, once in a while he does. We got a fellow who does that kind of thing, but when he's out on the call and Barney needs something fast, he maybe runs down the street and gets it.
Mm-hmm. Did he leave the garage this afternoon?
Yeah, he had to go down and pick up some rebuilds.
You know what time he left?
Be hard to pin it down to an exact time. I don't much keep tabs on Barney. He comes and goes as he pleases.
Pretty important that we get an idea of when he was gone.
Well, I can check it with the other boys in the shop. I should be able to find out when he left. I know he got back about 4:30, though.
You're pretty sure about the time?
Yeah, he came back and did a job on a rush one that we had, and then he took off at 5.
How was he acting when he came back?
What do you mean?
Did he seem upset about anything?
No, not particularly. He seemed pretty happy, though. Kept talking about what a beautiful day it was and how good he felt.
Uh-huh.
You know, it come right down to it, Barney was happier than he's been in some time. Just seemed like all his troubles were gone.
Well, we know how you feel about this, Mr. Norton, but it's pretty important. Did you ever hear Mr. Lawrence threaten his wife?
Look, I'm going to have to take your word for it being pretty important, Mr. Friday. I've got no way of knowing, but if you guys get me in the middle of anything, I'm going to be pretty sore about it.
Well, don't worry about that.
Well, and to answer your question, Barney and Ethel didn't get along very well. I guess you knew that. Divorce and all, Ethel accusing Barney of running around, they had some pretty big arguments.
Mm-hmm.
Barney was pretty mad at the judge when he got the alimony. He had to pay Ethel $150 a month. Made him pretty sore. But the judge said to pay it or go to jail. Ethel would just as soon see him in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Barney used to talk to me about it. We'd stop down the street and have a beer when we closed up the shop. Barney would say there was only 2 ways he could get out of the alimony payments.
Well?
One was if Ethel got married again, and Barney always said she was so mean that no sane man would have her.
What about the other way?
That was for her to die.
Mm.
I guess that was about the only threat he ever made, so I could hear it.
What's that?
That he wouldn't mind helping her out.
11:47 p.m. We drove over to the address we'd gotten for Bernard Lawrence. It was a modern apartment building in the Wilshire district. We rang the bell to his apartment, but we got no answer. Frank and I talked to the manager of the building, and he let us into the suspect's apartment. In a preliminary search of the place, we found nothing to tie the man in with his wife's death. However, from the clothes and the other personal effects in the place, we were reasonably sure that he'd returned to the apartment. The manager told us that Lawrence had come home after work, changed his clothes, and left, saying that he'd return later. We put in a call to the office, and we told them where we were, and we made arrangements to be relieved the next morning in the event the suspect hadn't returned. Frank and I settled down in our car, which was parked across the street from the apartment, to wait for Lawrence. At 1:30, Frank went down to the corner and called Fay to tell her he'd be a little late. He brought back a carton of hot coffee and some sandwiches. The stakeout continued. 2:30, still no sign of the suspect. 3:30, 4. At 5:30 a.m., the landlord came to the porch of the apartment house and yelled at us, indicating he wanted to tell us something. Frank went over to see him while I waited in the car. A couple of minutes later, Frank came running back.
Joe? Joe?
Yeah.
Manager just got a call from Lawrence.
What about?
Lawrence wanted to have his stuff packed and sent down to the depot.
Yeah?
Said he's leaving town.
5:42 a.m. We called the business office and had arrangements made to check the reservation lists on trains going east. We also set up stakeouts on the depots and on the airline terminals in the event the suspect changed his mind about taking the train. 2 officers came out and relieved us at the apartment. The manager of the apartment was instructed to notify the officers on stakeout in the event he heard from Lawrence. 6:12 a.m. Frank and I drove back downtown. We went to the business office and got out a local and an APB on the suspect. We checked out of the office to go home and change our clothes, and at 8:46 a.m., we met back in the squad room.
Well, you made it fast, huh, Joe?
Yeah, carton of coffee there if you want some.
No, thanks. I got something to eat on the way in.
No?
Any word?
No, not yet. Lawrence still hasn't showed up at the apartment. There's nothing from the depot stakeouts.
Oh, man, I'd sure like to get some sleep.
Well, I'm with you there.
You know, Faye's sure sore.
What about last night?
Yeah, had it all planned that we were going to a movie tonight. Always plans it on my day off.
Well,
You know, we have dinner and go down to the neighborhood. Kind of nice. She looks forward to it.
What's that got to do with last night?
Well, this is my day off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it says in the schedule.
And I'm working, right?
Yeah.
Well, I worked all last night, too. Huh?
Yeah.
Gonna be no movie tonight.
I don't follow you.
Well, I'm gonna sleep. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna climb right into the shower, dry off, into bed. Gonna sleep the clock around.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mm-hmm. We got to talk to Skipper this morning.
Is he in yet?
Yeah, he's down at Chief Brown's office.
Mm-hmm. You fill him in?
Yeah, a little bit. He goes along with us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's check R&I. I want to look at that arrest report on Lawrence, see if any of his friends are listed. We might be able to get a lead on him. Better find out if he made that call he was supposed to have made when he was gone from work, huh?
Yeah. The way it looks, he's still in town.
Well, that doesn't do us a lot of good unless we know where.
Well, we can go out and talk to the fellow that found the body. He might be able to come up with something.
Better put a stakeout on the garage where Lawrence worked, too. He might show up there.
Right. I'll get Norton on the phone. Tell him to let us know if he hears anything.
All right.
You know, the whole thing looks pretty clean. All we got to do is put Lawrence at his wife's house this afternoon. We got it made.
There's only one trouble.
Yeah?
We got to find him before we can put him there. After putting in the call to the garage where the suspect was employed and arranging for a stakeout on the place, Frank and I checked the arrest record that had been made out 4 years previously and obtained a list of his friends and relatives. We contacted each one of them, but they could give us no information on Lawrence. That morning, we met with Captain Lorman, and we went over the evidence with him. The fingerprints found at the scene of the murder had been eliminated when they were compared with those of the neighbor, Earl Brudig. Other physical evidence netted us nothing. The murder weapon still had not been found. The only piece of evidence that we had to attempt to identify the killer was the plaster cast of the footprint found by the side of the house. However, Lee Jones said that it would be of little use other than to identify the size of the shoe. It was a size 10 with a leather sole and a leather heel. There were no distinguishing marks on the impression. 2 days went by and we still hadn't found Lawrence. We talked to the men he worked with, but none of them could supply us with any information as to his possible whereabouts. We checked the bars he was known to frequent without results. Apparently, the suspect had disappeared without a trace. On Saturday, June 14th, 3 days after the murder, Frank and I got back to the office after lunch.
You want to check the book?
Yeah.
Where can I find Joe Friday?
I'm him.
I'm Barney Lawrence.
Well, we've been looking for you.
I want you to get off my back. Leave me alone.
You mind telling us where you've been for the past 3 days?
It's none of your business. The only reason I'm here now is I want to tell you to stop going around asking a lot of questions, causing me embarrassment.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean. I don't mind telling you I'm pretty sore about the things you've said behind my back. You probably didn't think I'd find out about them. But I did, and I'm telling you to stop.
You ought to take it easy, Lawrence.
You keep your nose out of this, cop. I'm talking to him. I got a few things for you, too, before I leave.
Yeah? I don't think you're going to leave.
What's that supposed to mean?
Just what it sounded like. You're under arrest.
For what?
Suspicion of murder.
You figured I killed Ethel?
You look good for it.
Then you better get a pair of glasses, cop. I'm walking out of here, and if you're smart, you won't try to stop me.
I wouldn't try it, Lawrence. Lawrence? Now hold it. If you haven't done anything wrong, you got nothing to worry about. Now come on back here.
You know something?
What's that?
I've always wanted to hit a cop.
Come on, Lawrence. On your feet.
Keep your hands off me, cop. Just keep your hands off me.
All right, now sit down. Right here. Sit down. Go ahead. We're investigating a murder. Someone beat your wife to death. We're trying to find who did it.
Well, it wasn't me.
You got a funny way of showing it. The suspect was booked in at the main jail on suspicion of murder. Lawrence put in a call to his lawyer, and arrangements were made to have him released on bond. Frank and I attempted to interrogate him before he was booked, but he refused to answer any questions we put to him. The following morning, we met with he and his lawyer. Again, we ran into the same stubborn silence. At 11:30 a.m., we met with Captain Lorman and Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. We laid out the evidence we had. From all appearances, we had the guilty man in custody, but it might be difficult to prove in a court of law. The one thing we'd been unable to establish was Lawrence's presence in the house at the time of the murder. It was decided that without being able to prove this, we would have little chance of getting a complaint from the district attorney's office. Frank and I started re-questioning the neighbors. None of them could tell us any more than they already had. We re-questioned the man who'd found the body, Earl Brudig. He came up with the additional information that there had been a crew of carpenters working on a house the day of the killing. The building was located next door to him, directly across the street from the place where the murder had been committed. We questioned the carpenters. None of them could tell us anything. However, there was one man who had been working on the construction that we were unable to reach. It took us several days before we were able to find him. On Wednesday, June 18th, we got to his house at 7:30 a.m., just before he left for work. He asked us to talk to him in the kitchen of his home.
I was just having breakfast. Fix you guys something to eat?
No, thanks, Mr. Hewitt. We don't want to take up much of your time here.
Oh, don't worry about that. What's this about anyway?
We understand that you were working on a job on Green Oak Drive on the 10th of June. Is that right?
Let me think. Yeah, 9700 block. Yeah, I was there. Why?
You worked there all day, did you?
That's right. Left the place around 5:30. Say, this about that woman that was murdered?
Yes, sir.
You got the fellow that did it?
Well, we think we know where he is.
You guys like a cup of coffee?
Yeah, fine. We'll join you.
Yeah, thanks.
Either of you use sugar?
No, thanks.
No, thanks, sir.
Don't see how you can drink coffee without it. Always use 2 spoons myself. That's good. Well, say, if you know who did the killing, how come he isn't in jail?
We need a little more evidence before we can take him to court.
That's why you're talking to me, huh?
That's right. A couple things you might be able to straighten us out on.
Why me?
Well, we've talked to the other men in the crew. Seems like you're the only one left.
Comes right back to me, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Hewitt?
Gotta sit down.
Wait a minute. What's wrong, Hewitt? What's the matter? You sick?
Poison in the sugar. I've been expecting it.
Frank, get an ambulance, quick.
Yeah.
What kind of poison, Hewitt? What kind?
There's nothing you can do now. I know this is wrong, taking poison. I killed the old lady. I killed her.
Ambulance on the way, Joe.
No hurry. He's dead.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 23rd, an inquest was held in offices of the coroner in and for the county of Los Angeles. At the inquest, it was ruled that the suspect, Merle Patrick Hewitt, died of self-administered poison, and his death was listed as a suicide. The victim's husband, Bernard Jerome Lawrence, was released from custody.
Now we leave the city streets and head to the dusty plains of the Old West with Gunsmoke. In Never Pester, Chester, a bit of frontier roughhousing takes a dangerous turn. When Marshal Dillon's loyal deputy is viciously attacked, how far will the marshal go for vengeance, especially when he decides to leave his guns behind?
Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers. That's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Sure is hot today, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah.
Used to get hotter in Sweetwater, though.
Texas?
Yes, sir. But I wasn't there very long.
No. What'd you do there, Chester?
Oh, I was a salesman, Mr. Dillon.
Salesman? Well, what'd you sell?
Lightning rods.
Lightning?
Oh. Well, now, they're good things to have, Mr. Dillon. Why, I had a line of lightning
now,
rods.
don't explain it to me, Chester. Too hot.
Well, I'll go get us some beer. Maybe that'll help.
I don't think I want any beer, Chester.
Well, then, why don't you just go take a siesta, Mr. Dillon? I'll stay here in the office.
Why don't you just leave me alone, huh?
All right, Mr. Dillon.
Marshal.
Yeah, what do you want, Doc?
A couple of cowboys been feeling their liquor over at the Texas Trail.
That's what saloons are for, isn't it?
And they were giving Kitty a bad time.
Oh?
She got rid of them now. But they're down at the end of Front Street now, making remarks and pestering the town ladies. It just might lead to trouble.
Well, I'm not going to walk down there in this heat just to lecture a couple of hard-nosed cowboys.
I'll go, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, good, Chester. You go, huh? Just tell them to take it easy and leave the ladies alone.
Yes, sir, I will, Mr. Dillon.
Hey, lady, you ever been to Texas? Real men down there. Not like these short grass Kansas.
All right, boys. Now, that's enough.
Who's this?
The preacher, maybe.
Boys, Marshal Dillon sent me down here.
And we're going to send you right back, fella.
Mr. Dillon said you can have all the fun you like, but to leave the ladies alone.
That's the whole dang trouble with these Dodge ladies.
They've been left alone too long.
Yeah, what they need is a couple of big-handed Texas men.
Look, now, why don't you go over there to the Alfaganza? I'll buy you both a beer.
You will, huh? Well, that's mighty thoughty of you, mister.
We just don't want any trouble, that's all.
Sure we don't. And I got an idea how we won't have any. Wait till I get on my horse here. Stay with our friend a minute, Trevor.
Hey, mister, I'll make a bet.
What kind of bet? What do you mean?
Any kind. You name it. Come on.
Well, but I don't.
I got him! He spilled his gun, Trevor. Pick it up and grab your horse.
Get this rope off of me.
Maybe it'll wear off, mister. You're going for a ride.
Drag him, Tobo, drag him. Let's go.
Chester, Marshal.
What? What? Who got Chester?
Couple of cowboys. The ropesman dragged him out of town. Come on.
Well, which way?
West, I'm going with you. Hurry.
Come on.
There they are, but they're not dragging anything.
They must have cut him loose. There he is, by that sagebrush. Chester. Chester. Get that rope off his feet, Shiloh. Look at him. He's bleeding all over. They tore him to ribbons.
I'll stay with him, Marshal, if you'd like to.
No, Shiloh. Go get our horses, huh? I'll get him back to the dock right away.
All right, Marshal.
It's all over, Chester. I got you now. We'll be at the dock soon. Easy, Chester. Easy, fella. Easy now.
I'll carry him when you get tired, Marshal.
I won't get tired, Shiloh. Not for a long time. Well, Doc?
Yeah, he's in bad shape, Marshal. The worst is something that's bothering his breathing. I don't know what it is. We'll just have to wait and see if it goes away. If he lives the next few days, he'll pull through.
Oh, Doc.
I know. But I'll stay right here with him.
Why did I have to send him? Why didn't I go?
Oh, now don't blame yourself,
I
Marshal.
told him to go, didn't I?
Yes, but...
Doc, can I talk to him?
No, Marshal, no. Not for a while.
All right, then. Would you tell him this for me? I'm going after those men. I'm going to bring them back. Alive. Or at least half alive. In the street outside, waves of heat move back and forth, making things seem unreal. Like Chester lying up there at docks. That seemed unreal somehow. I walked down to the jail and I went inside and I sat there for a while. And then all at once I got up and unbuckled my guns and I hung them on a peg behind the desk. And I went over to the Texas Trail.
I'm over here, Matt. Sit down. Matt, I heard about Chester. How is he?
Doc doesn't know for sure.
Oh.
They were in here bothering you. Who were they, Kitty?
I never saw him before. One was a kind of weasel-faced man named Trevitt.
And the other?
Big man. Real brute. Named Stobo, I think.
I see. What outfit, they say?
Would it be the Crow Track?
Yeah, the Crow track's holding a herd up the river. Thank you, Kitty.
Wait a minute, Matt.
Yeah?
No business of mine to ask, but where are your guns?
It would have been easier for Chester if they'd have shot him and killed him.
But I don't see...
So I'm not going to shoot them. Chester dies, I'll see him hanged. Otherwise...
Otherwise what, Matt?
I don't know. But I'm going to bring him back and we'll wait and see.
You're taking an awful chance.
Maybe.
Oh, Matt. Please be careful.
Sure. Kitty.
Yeah, Matt.
Look in on Chester once in a while, will you? Maybe.
Oh, of course I will. Don't worry about him.
Thank you, Kitty. So long.
Hey, Marshal.
What is it, Shiloh?
I'll walk outside with you. Marshal, I want to ride after those cowboys with you.
No, Shiloh, I'm going alone. But we could use you here at the jail.
Here?
I'm going to take 2 prisoners. I don't know when or how, but I need a jailer when they come in.
So I'll bring them in with you, and then I'll...
No. That's something I have to do alone.
Marshal, you're a stubborn man. But, okay, I'll do it.
Keys are in my desk. Here's my horse. I'm going now.
Yeah, wait a minute, Marshal. You're not armed.
I know it, Shiloh. Goodbye. Who's the trail boss here? Where is he?
Here I am. And I don't need any rider.
Maybe not, but you got 2 riders I need.
How's that? Just what do you want, mister?
That's the Crow Track outfit, isn't it?
That's right.
I'm looking for a couple of your men called Stobo and Trevitt.
They ain't here, mister.
And where are they?
I come back this afternoon, picked up the gatherings, and left. Didn't even wait to get paid off. I'm telling you this just because they're no good, and I'm glad they're gone.
Which way'd they go?
I wouldn't tell you if I knew, mister.
I didn't think you would.
Who are you, anyway?
I'm a U.S. Marshal out of Dodge.
That's so? Well, I don't know what you want them for, and I don't care, but how you going to take them, Marshal? Put salt on her tail? You ought to at least take a club if you're going after that Stobo. He's mean, he's big. Besides being a Texan.
We've hung Texans up here before, mister.
Marshal.
Yeah.
I heard Stobo and Trevitt say they were heading west, following the Arkansas.
Where are you from, son?
Texas, near Waco.
And what are you sniveling around informing on these men for?
That Stobo kicked me, knocked me down and kicked me.
All right, son, I'll ride along the Arkansas. But you ride back to Texas and learn how to fight your own battles. I cut straight down to the Arkansas and followed it west. I rode close to the water where I could use the sound of it for only my cover. After an hour or 2, I spotted a hobbled horse alone. Stobo and Trevitt must have separated. I got down and followed the animal's tracks as best I could in the moonlight until I caught the dying coals of a campfire on the bank ahead. On one side, I could make out the huddled figure of a man asleep in his blanket. It took a long time to crawl to his head where I saw the weasel face of the man Trevitt. His gun belt lay on the saddle blanket in easy reach. I stood up and heaved it out into the river. And as Trevitt sat up with a snap, I kicked him back.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
You sit up again and I'll smash your skull, Trevitt.
Don't kill me! Don't kill me!
Shut up. Now, where's your rope? I told you to lie down. Now, where's your rope?
Under my saddle there. You gonna lynch me?
No. But you may hang legally if you live that long. Now keep your arms in that blanket and lie still while I get you roped up here.
Who are you, mister?
Yeah, that'll do it. Let's just say I'm a good friend of a man you dragged out of Dodge this morning.
Stobo was in on that, too. It was his idea. He did it.
Don't worry, I'll find Stobo.
You ain't gonna leave me like this?
I'll be back.
You ain't even carrying a gun.
Too bad for you, I'm not. Now, Trevor, I'm going to throw you across my horse and tie you on. He'll take you into Dodge right to the jail. When you get there, tell Shiloh who you are if you can still talk. He'll give you a nice, clean cell.
You're the marshal.
I'll be back when I find Stobo.
You can't do it, Marshal. How dare that, son? Ride like that across a horse? No, listen. Stobo's about a mile upriver. We had a row and I left him. See, I told you, Marshal. Let me go now.
Trevor, how would you like to go to Dodge behind my horse with a rope around your heel?
No, don't, Marshal. Don't kill me.
I'll pack you on now. I tied Trevor across my horse and started him off in the direction of Dodge, and then I forgot about him. Stobo was next. I rode west on Trevor's horse. Dawn was just breaking when I saw him, crouched behind a campfire, cooking breakfast. His horse was saddled and stood nearby. I rode straight up, got down, and walked over.
You lost, stranger?
No. I'm not lost. Stobo.
No tricks, mister. I don't see your gun, but no trick.
Relax, Stobo. I'm unarmed.
Who are you?
Matt Dillon. I'm U.S. Marshal out of Dodge.
You're a long way from Dodge, Marshal.
Stobo, you and your pal had some fun with a friend of mine yesterday. You hurt him bad. Maybe you killed him.
You rode out here without a gun to tell me that? You're the craziest marshal I ever saw. I'm going to shoot you, Marshal, and bury you in the river. What do you think of that?
I expected you would.
Huh?
But unless you want it on your conscience that you refused to feed a man on the trail, you better give me a piece of that pork first.
You're about the coolest man I ever saw, Marshal.
Do I eat?
Sure you do. Sure. You just stand right there across the fire and don't move. I have to shoot you before you've been fed.
I know.
It's too bad I only got one dish for your last meal, Marshal.
A man can keep sassy on meat alone, Stobo.
Yeah, he sure can. Well, looks about done. At least this here piece says you can't...
All right, I got your gun, Stobo, so don't try anything.
You burn me! You burn me!
Just a few colds. It won't hurt you. Now shut up and get on your horse.
I'll kill you for this, Marshal. You can't hurt me like that.
On your horse! Come on now. Get up there. Now, you just sit there, Stobo. I'm going to throw a noose around your neck, so keep your hands down. There now. Now, you ride toward Dodge. And you do anything I don't like, and I'll jerk you off your horse and drag you the rest of the way. Now, ride. Jail's on the left. You see it?
I see it.
All right, pull up. Shiloh! Shiloh!
Well, hello, Marshal. This other one?
Yeah. Trevor, get here.
More dead than alive, but he's here. It was rough, Marshal. Real rough.
Yeah. Shiloh, how about Chester? Tell me.
Doc ain't sure yet, but he's alive.
Lock Stobo up. I'm going over to Doc's.
All right, you get down. Walk straight or I'll shoot you through both knees.
Chester was asleep, but the doc let me take a look at him. Seemed to me he had more trouble breathing than before. But the doc said another day might see him out of it. And there was nothing I could do. So I went up for a steak and some sleep. And the next morning I went back to the jail.
Morning, Marshal.
Everything all right, Shiloh?
Doc looked over your prisoners. Trevor's pretty sick yet, but Stobo's all right. Got a few burns is all. Nothing could hurt that moose.
A hanging might.
Sure, but what if Chester pulls through?
You can't hold us in, Marshal. There's no law that says...
I don't like the sound of your voice, Trevor.
But you can't
Be
hold
quiet.
Don't worry, Travis. There's nothing he can
You
do.
too, Stobo. Shut the door, Shiloh. I don't even want to look at him.
That Stobo's a mean one, but I feel kind of sorry for Trevor.
Then go cry about it someplace else. I don't feel sorry.
Don't you take it out on me, Marshal. I didn't send Chester off to do my job.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Go get some breakfast, huh, Shiloh? I'll wait here now.
I'll be back later.
Hello, Marshal.
Doc? What is the doc coming?
Chester. He's going to be all right.
You sure?
Why, of course, Marshal. His breathing suddenly changed. The pressure's off somewhere. Oh, he's going to be fine.
That's good.
Of course, he'll be in some pain for a while yet, but...
Yeah. All right, Doc. I'll come see him in a little while.
I'll tell him for you, Marshal.
All right, come on, Trevor.
Where to?
Come on, I said.
What's up, Marshal?
I'll be back for you, Stobo. Now get going. Come on.
It was Stobo, did it? Not me. You can't do anything to me.
Shut up. Trevitt, your horse is down at the National. Go get on it.
Turning me loose?
Get your horse and ride, and don't ever come back to Dodge, not while I'm alive. Now go on before I change my mind.
Yeah, sure, I'll go.
You're next, Stobo.
What'd you do with Travis? Put a knife in him?
I turned him loose. Now come on, get out of that cell.
Am I free, too?
You will be in a little while.
So the doc, Marshal. Chester's... Hey, where you going with Stobo?
They're going to shoot me in the back, probably. That right, Marshal?
I'm going to do what I should have done 3 days ago when I sent Chester after you. Bring him outside, Shiloh.
Let's go, Stobo. Slow and easy.
Bring him over here, Shiloh.
You're going to drag me, is that it? You try that.
That's what
now.
you do, isn't it, Stobo?
Don't try.
Never mind. Shiloh, hold my gun. Here.
What the... Oh, I get it. You're going to fight me. Marshal, you're crazier than I thought. Why, I'll tear your throat out.
If he wins, let him go, Shiloh.
Maybe I will.
I said you'll let him go.
All right, Marshal, all right. Maybe you're crazy, but I guess this is your party.
Come on, Marshal. I'll make it short for you. Real short.
Stand back, everybody. Get back, do you hear?
You're big, Stobo. But you're stupid. You're ugly stupid.
Why, you... I'll kill you! I'll kill you! No!
Give me my gun, Shallow.
Here. You don't look too good, Marshal. I'd better get that doc.
He's hurt, but he isn't dead. If he can't ride, throw him on a stage, but get him out of here. If I see him again, I'll shoot him. Pester? Can I come in?
Yes, Mr. Dillon. My, what happened to you?
I've been lecturing a couple of hard-nosed cowboys. One in particular.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, Mr. Dillon. Those two sort of got the drop on me.
Yeah, sure did.
Mr. Dillon,
Yeah?
I've been thinking, and
Yeah? What is it, Chester?
well, Mr. Dillon, I'm not much help to you here. Maybe I better just...
That's enough, Chester.
Well, but I've been thinking
Well,
that...
just stop thinking.
Yes, Mr.
Now, look, Chester, I'm going to tell you something. I need you here. You see, you're the only man in Dodge I can really trust. The only one.
Yes, sir. Well, you can trust me, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, I know. I'm thanking you, Chester. But you're sure no help to me lying there, you know. No help at all.
Well, I don't aim to stay here long. The doc says I'll be up and around again.
Look, Chester, I tell you what. I'll go get patched up, and then we'll make Kitty come over and fix us some steaks, and we'll have some beer, too, huh? Well, what do you say?
My, that'd be fine, Mr. Dillon. My, I'd sure like that.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was especially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in tonight's cast were Paul Dubov, Lou Krugman, and Georgia Ellis, with Don Diamond, Gil Stratton, and Jack Crucian. Parley Bear is Chester, and Howard McNear is Doc. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
And for our final frontier drama, Gunsmoke presents Alarm at Pleasant Valley. A horrifying massacre shatters the peace of a new settlement, sending a family fleeing for their lives. But as they seek refuge, will the alarm be enough to save them from a relentless threat? And what choices will they make when faced with unimaginable loss?
Gunsmoke. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful. And a little lonely.
Oh, me.
What was that for, Chester?
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted to make a noise, I guess. It's so blame quiet out here on the prairie.
You've been mighty quiet yourself.
I guess I run plumb out of conversation back a couple hours ago. It ain't I'm unsociable, Mr.
Yeah,
Dillon.
I know, Chester. It's been a long ride. Yeah, but we'll be in Dodge by dark.
Yes, sir. Just in time to go to bed.
You didn't have anything better to do, did you?
I guess not. Game of checkers with Doc, maybe. Oh, that man plays the doggondest, craziest game of checkers.
Hey, Chester. Look over there.
What? Well, that smoke, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah.
Must be a grass fire, huh?
Was smoke that black?
Well, what is it then?
Isn't there a ranch over in that direction?
Well, now, yes, sir, there is. Not far, neither. Fellow's named Claiborne, as I remember. Come here from Indiana about 4 years ago, him and his wife did. Awful nice fella.
Come on, Chester.
Planted corn the first year, but it didn't turn out very well.
Come on, Chester, we better take a look.
Mr. Dillon, house, barn, everything.
Yeah, there's not much left, is there?
What do you suppose could have happened?
Yeah, there's one thing for sure. It wasn't an accident. Look at the tracks. Horses. They're all milling around.
There's sure a lot of them. What I don't understand is where is Mr. Claiborne? Here's his house not hardly burnt to the ground yet.
Take a look over there, Chester.
Mr. Dillon.
Come on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he should have stayed in Indiana.
And his wife, too. And I didn't even know they had a little one, Mr. Dillon. Looks like they was trying for cover in that little creek bed there.
Well, we can only do one thing for him now. Maybe there's a shovel left back there.
Mr. Dillon, who could have did a thing like that?
That's plain enough, isn't it?
Yes, but I didn't hear no Indian trouble right now.
I didn't either.
Mr. Dillon?
Yeah.
If them Indians was just here not very long ago, they couldn't have gone far.
That's right, Chester. They couldn't. All right, come on. Let's look for that shovel.
Oh, Mr. Claiborne. Look out there, Mr. Dillon.
What?
Planted corn again, and it's doing real well, too.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute, Chester. Listen.
Horses. A lot of them.
Yeah.
You think it could be them Indians coming back?
Now, that could be. Get the rifles and we'll try a run for the creek bed.
No, too late, Mr. Dillon. They're coming over the rise. Well, Mr. Dillon, it ain't Indians. It's the Bluecoats.
Yeah.
A patrol, a whole company of them. Oh, my, ain't they a welcome sight?
Yeah, come on. Let's go meet them.
What are you doing out here, Marshal?
We were riding in from Pawnee, and we saw the smoke, Lieutenant. We were a little too late.
So I see. Where are they?
Over there. All three of them.
We're pretty close on their trail now. Maybe we can get them before they find another ranch.
Well, from the prints, I figured them for Kiowa. But I didn't know there was any trouble.
There isn't. With the tribe, these are just renegades. Not more than 8 or 10 of them.
Oh.
Got all fired up and jumped the agency.
Fired up with cheap whiskey.
Maybe. But we can't be more than about half an hour behind them now. With luck, we'll get them before nightfall.
I sure hope so.
Marshal, we'll take over here for you. The horses need a few minutes' rest. Then we'll go on.
All right, Lieutenant. We'll head on into Dodge. Then.
Keep your eyes open, Marshal, on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
You know, Mr. Dillon, it's a cussed crying shame. Them Indians can be as peaceful as anything, and then some ornery white man comes along and sells them some of that red eye, and they just go hog crazy.
Chester, an Indian's no different from anybody else with too much to drink. Now, the problem's deeper than that.
What do you mean?
Well, the Indians have lost a lot. They're a conquered people. That doesn't sit well with any man, Chester. And there are times when it makes him mad.
Yes, sir, that's so. I guess maybe you can't blame them entirely.
Not entirely.
Sir. Well, say now, that's a pretty little valley. Hey, look, there's somebody down there.
Yeah, looks like settlers.
They do indeed, with that Conestoga wagon. They built them a sod hut, too. Well, looks like we got neighbors we didn't know we had, Mr. Dillon.
Or maybe we're losing them before we get to know them. They seem to be packing the wagon.
Maybe they heard about the Indians.
Yeah, that's likely. Well, come on, we'll ride down and say hello. Afternoon.
Howdy.
I'm Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal out of Dodge. This is Chester Proudfoot.
I'm Sam Fraser. This is my ma.
Sam.
This is my wife, Alice.
Hello.
How do you do?
This is Tad, my kid brother.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
We're headed for Dodge ourselves.
Well, looks like you got settled here.
Well, we ain't staying, Marshal. We're going on west.
Chasing rainbows, Marshal. Farm folks like us.
Now, Ma.
Don't you now ma me, Sam Fraser. If your pa was still alive,
Well,
he
he
wouldn't
ain't. And it's up to me to do the deciding now. If you'll excuse me, Marshal, I'll get back to loading up.
Chester and I can give you a hand.
No, thanks. Tad and me'll manage.
That's a real nice sod hut, Miss Fraser. It's kind of too bad to go off and leave it.
My husband built it, not him.
Now, Ma, Sam helped.
Marshal, what do you think of a son that goes against his father's wishes and him not hardly cold in his grave?
Ma, please.
3 days now, Marshal. He's buried right over there under that cottonwood.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
We hadn't been here more than a week. Come all the way from Ohio, looking for a spot of good ground to till, looking for a home, Marshal. And he found it here.
It sure is a pretty little place.
Samo called it Pleasant Valley. Said he'd be grateful to settle here and spend his days. Only the Lord didn't leave him any days. Denied him, like Moses, come to the promised land.
It would make a nice homestead for you folks.
It would. But some folks has ideas.
Oh, Ma, lay off.
Mr. Fraser.
What?
Look, I know that's none of my business, but is there some reason why you want to give up this land and go on?
Reason enough.
It's 'cause of me, Marshal.
Now, Alice, you ain't to blame.
Yes, I am. It's 'cause Sam is worried about me, Marshal. No Indians would scare him off if it was just these folks, but it's me he's scared for. Me and the one coming.
And what better reason? You think I want my wife and my child living in danger of murdering savages?
Mr. Fraser, there's just a bunch of renegades. The cavalry will get them soon, and the danger will be over.
Who's to say what they'll do before the cavalry gets them? No, Marshal, my family's going to grow up in a safe place.
My ma born me in the middle of the Ohio woods, thick with Indians as fleas on a hound. We was made of sterner stuff in them days.
Maybe, but my wife ain't going to live like that. Now, come on, Tad, hand that up. We're losing time.
You going on west?
Aye, to California, he says. Might even look for gold instead of farming, he says.
Oh, my, I reckon most of that gold out there is already clean. 20 years or more. Of course, you might have luck.
We can always find a piece of land.
Yeah, maybe you can, but nothing better than this.
Nothing half as good. This dirt's richer than molasses in the cook pot. If it was me,
Well, it ain't. Now, hoist.
If I was just a few years
I said
old...
hoist.
You see how it is, Marshal.
Yes'm. Maybe he's right. California might work out fine. Only it's a long way, and with Miss Fraser expecting, it's going to be kind of a hard trip.
I know all that, Marshal. We'll stay in Dodge till the baby's born. It won't be long now, and then we'll go on.
I just want to say one thing, Mr. Fraser. As a lawman in this territory, we have some troubles now and then, sure, but it's not as bad as you think. And in a few years, it'll be as safe here as it is in, well, Ohio right now, or California. And it's going to be a prosperous country.
My mind's made up, Marshal.
Well, all right. We better help you get loaded then. See you safe into Dodge. The worst place to be right now is out on the open prairie.
All right, that's it. Now, one more shove. Good. That should ride easy.
Well, that's the last.
Oh. All right, then, we're all ready. Might as well get started. It's getting late. You got them all hitched, Tad?
They're ready.
Where's Ma?
She's over by the cottonwood.
Oh. Crying, I suppose, to shame me.
Sam.
Well, tears don't do no good.
She ain't crying. She's just standing, staring. I tried to get her to come away, but she wouldn't.
Marshal, maybe if you was to talk to her. You know, a stranger.
All right. Well, sure, ma'am. Miss Fraser.
He's there, Marshal. Right there. We fixed up a cross.
Yes'm.
Maybe if you was to pass by this way again, you just take a look. See the marker still standing?
Well, sure I will, ma'am.
25 years, Marshal. And all I ever asked was to lie there beside him. It's a lonely place.
Mm-hmm. But it's no lonelier than any other, Miss Fraser. Why, in the springtime, this whole meadow's covered with a blanket of sunflowers. Pretty as you ever saw.
Thank you, Marshal. I can go now.
Ma, I'm sorry.
No need, boy. We all do what we have to do. You're no different. Just help me up.
Oh, here, Ma.
All right. Now let's get this girl into town. Her time's almost come.
Okay, Ma.
Hey!
All right, come on, Chester.
Yes, sir.
I want you to ride the point. Keep a good watch ahead and to the north, huh?
All right, sir.
I'll cut up to the top of that hill and take a look, and then I'll ride south flank, cover that side and behind.
Mr. Dillon, it sure does seem a shame.
Wait a minute, Chester.
Oh, my gracious, coming over the hill.
Yeah.
Them ain't blue coats.
No, they're not, Chester. Turn around. Go back.
What?
Look up there.
Indians!
Get back to the hut, fast. Use your rifle, Chester.
It's too far to hit them.
It'll let them know they got to fight.
Yes, sir. Now they've turned off.
I thought they would. All right, let's get back to the Frasers. Come on. All right, hurry it up. Let's get those women into the hut.
We're trying, Marshal, but Alice got shook up some with us going so fast.
Well, we'll carry her. Come on.
Be all right, Marshal.
Sure you will, ma'am. Hang on now. There we go.
Over here. Right here, Marshal. Put her down gently.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Alice.
No, Sam, don't you worry. I'll be all right. You go on. Do what needs to be done. I'll be all right.
But Alice...
Go on, boy.
Come on, Sam. You got a rifle, Sam?
Yeah, Sharp's in the wagon.
Well, that'll give us 3.
I ain't got one, Marshal, but I can load for you.
All right, son. There'll be plenty to do.
They're still up there, Mr. Dillon. Having a powwow, looks like.
You figure they'll rush us, Marshal?
No. They know we got rifles. There are only 8 or 9 of them, and the ground's too open. They'll either go on and leave us alone, or they'll wait till the sun goes down and come in the dusk.
There's nothing to do but wait.
Well, we can use the time to unload part of the wagon. Just the things they'll need in there, though. Then we'll drive it off and cut the horses loose. We don't want them milling around in case of a fight.
Sam,
What, Ma?
get water from the creek. Make a fire, quick.
Ma?
Don't stand there. You heard me. Get moving.
Yes'm.
Relax, Fraser. She's gonna be all right.
Sure, out here in nowhere with them up there. This is just what I was afraid of.
Well, plenty have been born this way. You might have been yourself, you know.
I know, but... Tad, where you going?
Down to the creek. Ma wants more water.
You better go with him, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I should have gone 2 days ago. I wanted her to have the best, nothing but the best.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I talked about hunting gold in California.
You know something, Sam? A man can waste a lifetime looking for gold when it's right in front of his eyes.
Where?
You're looking at it. There's wealth here for a man, too.
Oh, I know it, Marshal. Tad!
Yeah, come on.
Tad!
He's all right, Mr. Dillon. Just a nick. One of them snuck up close, but I chased him off.
Oh, Tad.
I'm all right, Sam. Just crease my arm.
Well, it's bleeding.
We'll fix it when we get him back to the hut. There we go. Is it tight enough, son?
Oh, sure, Marshal. It's okay. How's Alice?
I don't know. Ma chased me away. I'm worried, Marshal.
And I'm more worried about those Indians. It's going to be dark soon.
Mr. Dillon, that patrol ought to be around here somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping they'd show up.
Well, they can't be far. They was on the trail. Maybe if I was to ride out...
Now, there's a better way, Chester. Signal them.
How?
The sign they've been looking for and hoping not to see. Smoke.
You mean set the grass afire?
No, that'd smoke us out, too. No, the wagon.
Oh, but Marshal...
Yeah, I know, Fraser. It's like burning your bridges behind you, but it's the only thing we got.
All right. All right, we'll burn it.
Well, stuff's almost out, but it sure sent up a lot of smoke while it lasted. You reckon the cavalry saw it, Mr. Dillon?
It's hard to say, Chester.
Well, if they did, I hope they're hurrying. Sun's most gone, all but the tops of the hills. This valley's getting mighty shadowy.
We better sit in a circle. Each one watch his side.
Marshal, out there, was that?
What? No, just one of the horses, son, but you keep looking.
Marshal, listen.
Look, up there, it's the Bluecoats. They're here.
Oh, ain't that a welcome sight?
They're charging the Indians, running them off.
Marshal, we're going to be all right.
Yeah, Fraser. They'll get him now. Maybe if we'd...
Sam, get in here.
Alice.
Well, what are you staring at? Body'd think you'd never seen a strapping, healthy baby boy before.
Alice?
I'm all right, darling. We're both all right. I told you didn't need to worry about us.
All right, now, you men folk, get on out of here. Go on, skedaddle.
Yes, ma'am.
You too, Sam Fraser.
Well, I declare.
Well, Sam, Chester and I'll be getting on into Dodge. We sent a wagon out for you.
Well, I reckon we won't be needing the wagon, Marshal.
Sam, you mean we're staying?
Well, we buried one here, and we born one here. And we shed Fraser blood in this dirt. And it is good dirt, Marshal. And it is a pleasant place.
Yes, it is.
You'll be welcome here any time. Both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser. Welcome to Kansas.
From the stark realities of city crime to the perilous life on the frontier, this episode of classic radio drama theater has explored the depths of human desperation and the relentless pursuit of justice. We hope these 4 classic tales have kept you on the edge of your seat. Which story resonated with you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Classic Radio Gold. Until next time, remember, the echoes of great stories still resound.